Mhm.
Oh, good morning, everybody. How the heck are we doing today?
Doing great. How are you, Chris?
Oh, best day ever. We got Erik here with us.
Yeah,
Erik,
Yeah.
how the heck are you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. Hopefully you as well.
Oh, yeah. Just can't beat it.
Eric, remind us where you're coming in from.
I'm coming in from Copenhagen, Denmark.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well,
So
it must be
it's
late in your Friday today or
half
later.
past 2. So
Oh,
Oh,
well,
that's
that's a
not too
nice
yeah,
bad.
time.
afternoon,
Yeah.
early
Yeah.
afternoon.
Yeah, you get early
Yeah,
afternoon. You starting to
yeah.
line up. What you got going on tonight? You hitting the clubs, you know?
On the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting ready. Yeah, have polished my dancing shoes. Yeah, yeah. Power BI colors, of course. Yeah,
Wow.
looking forward to that.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, good
Thanks for
deal.
having me on.
Oh, we're excited to have you here. I've been we saw you. I saw some of your posts about parameters on LinkedIn. Then you were on our live stream a couple weeks ago, and you had started to like talk about it, and
Yeah.
like we're like, all right, we got to go in more detail on this because this is some cool stuff that you've been doing. But it is fantastic seeing everyone in the chat as well. So, like, good morning to everybody. It's great to see you. Who do we got
Yeah,
here?
we got
Uh,
Bob,
yeah,
Yeah, and hi,
in fact,
Belinda. Yeah.
yeah.
Miss Belinda.
Yeah. Why don't we do the if you're new to the live stream, type in hashtag new. If you're old, type in hashtag old. Because we see a lot of the old groups here, but I'm seeing some new faces and some new names as well. So it's excited to see people.
Christina's here, so we're happy she's able to join us and hope
Yeah.
everything's going well.
100%. Yeah. Aman. Oh, good deal. Good deal. Erik, so you come from Copenhagen, Denmark. Uh, there we go. We got some old people starting to show up. Belinda, way to go. Although that has nothing to do with your actual age, because we would never ask a woman her age. So, Erik, how might people know you? Like, because you're a name in the community in Europe for all of our U.S. people who might not be familiar with you. Where might we know you from?
Uh, you might know me from the Danish Power BI community. I
Mhm.
co-founded the Power BI user group Denmark, and yeah, that's about 7 or 8 years ago. We won the first user group of the year for the Dynamics communities back then,
Hmm.
actually.
Oh, wow.
My colleague Jens Vestergaard is running it now. I'm doing some blogging, not as much as I wanted to, but sometimes when I get the time. And then recently I've done a lot of posts on LinkedIn about visualizations and yeah, different Power BI tips and tricks.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what that's where I think I see you the most nowadays is over on
yeah,
LinkedIn and just trying to make sure it's not because I'm more over there, but yeah, I see your stuff there. So I think we have his LinkedIn information, right? You want to share?
yeah,
I
yeah.
do. You'd think I'd be prepared for it because we literally
You
Yeah,
prepared
know,
for
feel
it
free
before the
to
stream, but
connect. It's
yeah, there you go.
but yeah, feel free to connect with him and watch his stuff over there, follow him so that you see, this great thing. But yeah, why don't we
yeah,
you want to go through any rules or anything first, Chris? And
Rules.
and
We don't
just
need no
you know,
stinking rules.
everybody's
No, no.
pretty good about it here. I mean, come on. Everybody, it's all self-managing.
yeah,
Well, no, and Kevin is spot on. If you have, we do this live stream. Well, I do it because I learn a lot by doing it. But it's
Mhm.
really it's for you, right? Is why we're doing this. So if you have questions, please please prefix the question with the Q colon. we can actually prep it and get it into the queue to ask Erik about the stuff that we're going to be going into. Please don't spam the channel or repeat questions. I mean, we don't have a lot of problems with that. And while this isn't a rule, it really does help the channel if you like this video and or share it with other people. And there's actually like a link down below to like share this. Like if you're here and you're finding this useful or you're watching this on repeat, share it to your internal Power BI user groups. Like it just showing up in Teams actually like linked, or YouTube sees that. And it helps grow the channel. It shows people are active here. So the more you can do there, the better. All right. I think that's about it.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Erik,
Any other news you wanted to share before we go to our demo?
Yeah.
You think we would have talked about that at a time too?
Yeah, we're super well prepared.
We were so organized, we forgot how organized we were today.
Yeah. Let's go over to bring that up. So next week is Microsoft Ignite. This is a big thing. It's in Chicago. It's in person. It is sold out. So if you don't have a ticket, like you'll have to like, I don't know. You'll have to like.
Well, you could attend online.
Yeah. You can't go in person anymore unless you really know someone who has a ticket. I don't even know how you do that at this point. But you can go online, so you can go ahead and register for it. There is some serious big announcements in our space coming next week. I cannot emphasize how important it is if you're in this area to be tuned in, at least registered for this and watching what's going to be happening and what's going to be coming on. It's kind of a big deal. This channel will have a series of YouTube videos out on what's about to be announced, so do look for that as well. So that is coming too. So
yeah, and remember, even if you register and you can't attend the session in the time that it's being broadcast out, you could go back and hit the replays, right? So you kind of do it on your own time if you need to. So it's to your benefit. Go ahead, register, get your schedule set up, and then you could hear about all the good things that are coming out. So
yeah. So definitely do check that out. I'm gonna share this in the chat for the link so that you can register for it. It's a big one. We want you to be there. Okay. Okay. Awesome. But we're here.
I was going to say I was a little surprised that the new desktop came out this week. I thought they were going to wait a little bit for Ignite, right? So
I missed that. That came out.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure the blog post came out, and it's finally downloadable and everything. So yeah, you could get the November desktop, and I don't remember reading through what the features are, but there'll be more coming next week. So
a new slicer.
Oh, is there a new slicer?
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
At least there's a text slicer, and there's small multiples in the new card visual. So that's pretty awesome.
Maybe it's an unpopular opinion, but having all these different slicers now is starting to get a little confusing. It's like, okay, I'm going to put a slicer on the screen. Okay, which one? What?
There's a reason for that. I saw a live stream with Miguel last week or something like that, where he presented the roadmap in a Dutch user group.
Okay.
And he explains why we suddenly have all these different slices. Yeah.
Well, I bet it's something along the lines of support for legacy slicers, right? It's a different object, it's a different code base, it's up, it's still supported.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a new one, it's gonna be there, and like, hey, like we think Power BI and Fabric is so new because it's being updated every single month that we're seeing all this stuff. We forget that Power BI, that underlying code base, there are bits of it that have been around for like 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
Right. So like Microsoft still has to support all that stuff. Like the backward compatibility is still a thing. Like imagine how much people would freak out if like, hey, an update came out and it break all their old reports, right? So yeah, there's got to be some of that stuff that we've just gotta manage it and deal with, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And
I got
which is
my 9-year badge in the Power BI user group community a couple of months ago.
oh nice.
holy cow, well done.
So it's been a long journey.
Yeah.
I'm gonna admit, I only joined the Power BI community like
Last
2,
week.
maybe 3 years ago. It was really relatively recently, like when I don't remember what it was, but there's some big like issue with support that happened, and this call went out like, "Hey, we need MVPs to help out," and so I'm like, "Oh crap! I guess I'll let everyone know I've never registered before." I get my newbie badge and they attach it to my MVP profile. Womp womp womp.
Yeah.
All right. So Erik, we are here and we love talking with you, but like there is something that you have put a ton of energy into, and you've got some like code out there that we could use and follow.
Yeah.
And I think is like super like revolutionary, like cosmic shifting like infinity gauntlet like snapping type
Look,
of change here. So,
everybody's
really
going to
putting-
change your plans for today based upon what you show, Erik. So
Yeah.
have at it.
right,
have
and that's
to-
why we're having this at 7:30 in the morning so that everyone in the US can completely clear their calendars to rewrite all of their Power BI reports based upon what you're about to show us. Yes.
No pressure.
And to be
Correct.
clear, no pressure, Erik.
No, it's field parameters has been out there for a couple of years now, I actually think. But
wait, is it still preview?
Probably.
Probably. You know, that would be a safe bet at this point, wouldn't it?
When in doubt, presume it's all preview. That's fine. You know.
I think it's moving up the list of preview features that's in the checkbox at least. So,
all right, I gotta. You get started with what you want to show us. I'm gonna take a look while we're there.
Yeah. Okay. I will, and I guess you can see my screen now, right? Hopefully, or
there we go. Okay, we've got your screen up.
So, you probably all know that you can add field parameters using the modeling tab and either choose the fields here and set up your field parameter by choosing either measures or columns from your data model and add it as a slicer. But when you do that, you will get a calculated table that has some specific columns. But what if you add another attribute to your product table or store table or add another measure? Then you would have to update the field parameter manually because this dialog doesn't support you modifying an existing field parameters. Then you have to go into the DAX that constructs the field parameter. And you can do that, of course. But what if we made it even more dynamic? So on the left-hand side here, I have a slicer that is a field parameter. So I can click on the different attributes from my product dimension, and the visual now here shows manufacturer, or it can show brand. Oh,
sorry.
That's not bad.
Okay.
That's not magical, right? But the magic happens if we go down here to the product table, and then I rename my column. Now I want the brand not to be called brand, but brand name. Now, as you saw in the slicer here, now it's called brand name. And when I click on it, it's now called brand name without me changing anything else than the attribute name in the product table.
Okay.
Hang on.
Nice.
That's not how that works, is it? How'd you do that?
Yeah, how did I do that? Or how are you going to build this in your own models in a, when this is over? Well, in the, I'll switch to the DAX query view in order just to show the, and
Oh,
if we zoom
look
in a
at
little bit,
that.
evaluate info view columns. When we run this, you will see that we will get a view of all our columns in our model across the different tables. So from date table and product table, etc. And if I then run this query, where I filter by the table product and then remove the row number, because each of the table will have this row number element. I don't want that as to be selectable. I only want the data type text, and I don't want the attributes where the name contains code. In my case, because I don't want to group by product code or category code or whatever I have in my model, right? And that,
Okay, so you could change that to like IDs or something along those lines. Yeah, whatever, right? Okay.
Yeah. This just gives me a list of the 7 attributes that I want, that I filter out from all the columns in my data model, with the names, those without code, the tables from product table, and the data type text. And if I had some interesting thing else in my model, I could, of course, use that in my when I build my field parameter table in a while. So now, I know you're a big fan of calculated tables and columns, Chris. But we do need to to use them in this case. But this statement, the filter statement, is actually the records I need in order to create a calculated table, which I then do some formatting on in order to use this. So this is the DAX statement that I want to use in my calculated table. So if we switch back
and just to kind of add a little more context, this this ability to use this new DAX, this table, this info view table is recent, right? That was something that we were going through.
That was October.
October, yeah. So the info view ones before this could not produce a calculated table. You could only use them in like the DAX query, but now they've extended the functionality. We could bring it in, make Chris really upset by having a DAX table.
Yeah. But I think Chris will like. Was here in the I've added a dynamic product field parameter, right? So if we expand that, you can see that my construction of the table consists in here. I've added an extra hidden table in my model. So let's just view hidden, and the X column here is simply that is actually not needed. I could implement that in my query as well. That is a table where I use the info view columns and reduce it to only include the product, the columns from the product table, right?
Okay.
So in the dynamic product field parameter, I use this X column, i.e. the columns that is in our product table. I remove the ones where it contains a row number in the name. I exclude all the hidden, or only include the hidden. It's the other way around, right?
So yeah.
And then the name, and then I add a column here where I use the name of the column, the table, product, and then with the brackets and put the name in between of the field. So if we switch to the table view and switch to, not this one, we'll wait with that and switch to the dynamic, you will get this table, right?
Okay.
Let's see if I can zoom in a bit.
Yeah, that's good.
So a text where it says product and the name of the field and the name, product name, that makes it easier for the user to understand.
Okay.
Okay, so when I rename the brand to brand name, it will actually update the element, and you will see that the product field parameter is now product brand name, and the name is brand name.
And that's because whenever we make a model change, there's a little bit of a refresh that kind of
Yes,
occurs right there in desktop, right?
of the calculated table.
Yeah, so the refresh then makes this table work again. Okay,
Yes,
great.
but you can notice this icon on my product field parameter, right? It has this question mark indicating that this is actually a field parameter. And that is that is a property that we can't set in via the Power BI desktop. We need help from external tools to do that because we need to specify a specific extended property on this column actually. We need to tell the model that this is a reference to a field in our model. And that is because we actually expect that when we put this in, right, if we don't do anything, it will just show like this. If we change this to a slicer, you'll see that we will get all the elements. But if we go in here and show selected field instead, you will see that we actually get the field name to select instead.
Look at you using on-object visuals. Like, way to go,
Yeah,
sir.
I love it.
Yeah.
I didn't love it to begin with, but now I do.
I'll say I made 2 definitive runs. The first time I spent 3 months trying to use it, and I had to get off it because I was so unproductive. 6 months later, I said, okay, I'll give it another shot. And I spent a month trying to get onto it, and I had to stop. And that's been a year. It's been over a year now. But you're saying
I
you're
can,
more productive now?
yes,
Hmm.
but it
All right.
does, yeah. If you worked as me with the 6 years of Power BI desktop with all the clicky, right? You know where stuff is, but now we can, yeah, I especially like that if I double click on the elements, now it's not as good as in a slicer, right? But now I can click up here and rename my slicer, right?
Mhm.
And it automatically picks the property in my format pane, right?
Oh, that's really nice.
Yes,
I
that's
like
really
that quite
nice.
a bit. Yeah.
Sounds like another episode to look at object editing again.
Yeah, why use
Yeah.
the on object? Yeah, but
I have
let's
found for like new users, they like it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but like you said, kind of, all these years of us doing the clicky that was just up there, it takes breaking the muscle memory and rebuilding that muscle memory again. So
Yeah. But let's
Okay.
switch back to how we can make this field actually behave as a field selector and not as a text selector.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we need to do? We need to use either tabular editor 2 or 3. So let's just pick the free version and connect to the Power BI model. And we need to go to the table, and I have this dynamic let's see if I can zoom in, the dynamic property field parameter, where I only have the name and the product field parameter as my columns.
Mhm.
And the trick is that this field, the product field parameter, and you can call it whatever you want, there is an extended property that you need to add. So you need to add a property called parameter metadata, and it has to be a, when you add it as a JSON extended property.
Hmm.
And
Even though it
has
says
to have that exact name, correct?
yes.
Okay.
And
So,
even
like-
though it says string here in type, that will change to string even when you choose JSON extended property. So don't be tempted by selecting this one. I can
Okay.
promise you I did that quite a few times and then it didn't work. But remember to use the JSON extended property. Now,
So
and
I
the
guess
value, yeah,
that's just telling us that what is in the string is JSON.
yes,
To where I guess before, like, or if you make it as you select it and add it as a string, it only
yeah,
treats that as just a string rather than trying to parse it out, I guess.
correct. And then you
Okay.
need to add this in curly brackets version 3 kind 2. What it means, I don't know, but then it works, right?
Okay, so how did you find that in the first place?
Well, Owen Auger, I don't know whether that's his right name. He
Mhm.
has done in the Power BI user group in Barcelona an excellent presentation about field parameters,
Okay.
where he does all sorts of tricks, and you can also find it in the documentation, but it's hidden somewhere.
Mhm.
So I can
You mean
highly
in the
recommend.
millions of pages of
Yeah.
documentation, you
Yeah,
can go in
yeah,
and find that one little string in that one
yes,
obscure setting? Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Let's just try to remove it and see what happens. So I'll just remove it and save it back to my model. Switch over here, and now you can see there's no question mark about on the product field parameter.
Mm.
So
Okay.
I need to add it again, and hopefully I switch to
Can remember what that
dynamic.
was to do that?
Yeah, product field parameter, the extended properties. What should I remember? JSON extended
JSON.
properties, and then this one should be parameter metadata, not date. And then can I remember this, or do I have it on my clipboard? I probably don't, but then I can just click OK and cheat, because I'll do up here and find it in another and steal that here. Go to my extended property again, paste that in and save it once again. And I have experienced that sometimes I have to do it twice for some reason.
Hmm.
So let's, yes. But
Breaking the law.
That's
it's a
weird.
live demo, right? So
Right.
let's just.
So can you zoom in on that? I want to type this into chat. Version quote colon 3 dot space kind.
I think it's a comma, actually. Just.
Oh, it's a comma?
Yeah.
Holy cow. All right, boy, we got to get really in on this. Kind, and then colon, and then what's at the
2.
is it 2?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And then
The file is in my GitHub, so you will be able to download a copy of it.
okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Your GitHub repo, I've got it right here. Holy cow.
Yeah, and I think on yours you missed the colon after kind, the
Oh,
quote
you're
at the
right.
end
I
of kind.
did. God bless it.
Yeah, JSON's pretty picky about all of that. So
Yep.
Yeah, now, yeah, it's the demo ghost apparently that that tricks us, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Let's not spend time on that.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I just posted your blog in there, so it's up there. I think I've now typed that in right the second time. So
Yes.
it this is the string that it has to be in on. So for those of you who are watching and like trying to like capture it, you could see it
Ah,
down in the live stream now.
I forgot to name it, right? Because
Oh,
yeah, so this one should be parameter. Hopefully, we'll get this in in the Power BI desktop, so we can set that property at some point. So now you can see that we got the question mark on the product field parameter in the model out here.
and
Okay.
I'm showing what it is. It's supposed to be capital P, lowercase amateur, capital M, lowercase metadata dot date. But
I don't think the dot date's at the end of that.
what's that date? God bless it.
No. He was saying because he mistyped it,
Yeah,
and so he had to change
parameter
it. It's just
metadata.
right.
Okay, there.
That's it.
This is the screen cap for the people who watch
Yeah.
it over and over again. Come back to it. Get this one. All right. All right. Good deal.
Yeah. So now we have this one, and we can use it as a regular. And if we rename our attributes, the slicer won't be able to recognize it, so we have to pick brand again in order to use the new name. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
Wow, that is impressive.
Yeah, and you can, of course, determine what should be included. Do you want a separate field parameter for your product dimension or store dimension or time, or put it all into one by
That's
doing
what,
this?
yeah, that's what I was going to ask. If you wanted to make this like multiple tables, even in this one field parameter,
Yeah.
have you tried that? Would it work?
So let's do it live. Why not do it
Sure,
right?
why not?
So I will, instead of using the X columns, which was only the product dimension, I
Mhm.
will grab all the columns in my data model without not this one, probably. This one should be like this,
Yep.
and like this, and like this. Right, so now we should get all our columns that is not hidden and doesn't contain the string row number. And I call it product field parameter, just it will be cross dimensions. Wow.
Well, but don't you also have to, because you have the table hard coded as product?
No, because the
He-
info view columns retrieves all my columns in my model, right?
Okay, that's the
yeah, he
first
pulled the
part with
filter
this.
off of that, right?
With
Oh
that,
no, the second
but
part is
the last line that says product field parameter is hard
Yeah.
coding the table
Yeah,
product.
I need to, that should then be
You got to get that
like
from
this, and then use the
the table name or something. It's in there,
table.
right?
Yeah, right. What is that called? That's probably called, it's called table. That sounds very logical, right? And that's table. And
In the quotes, yeah.
what happened here? Yeah, can't. It's probably a. Let's see if I can do like we need. Might be able to. Like this, and then this one should be like this.
Okay, that makes sense because it's being returned in the first part of the table. Yep. Okay.
So now we have the correct reference to the table and column name, and you can see now the column is the field parameter name is not the best, but you get the point, right? And then we can, now we have from product. Let's see if we can do it by country. Ta-da!
Interesting.
What? Impressive.
That's neat.
Holy cow.
Do you like
it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Hey, I've got a question. Could we put another on your I just haven't done this before. So you've got a calculated table, dynamic product field parameters. So you've got your name and you've got your tab. The tab is the table. So you could on your slicer, you could filter that slicer to a selection of tables.
You could put another slicer. Yeah.
So we could say, you know what? Let's do product and store. Just
like this.
I'm just right. So that you could sort by either one of those, or you could have a refined parameter list that people could then slice by.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, you could just have a regular slicer that shows that tab column, and then you're right, as it could influence this slicer. So you could say, hey, just which table do I want to look at, right? So that
So now I've used the new text slicer, right? So if we that's also a demo, right? I've never done that's just the coloring, right?
We're doing it live, people. That's what we do here. We do it live. Let's see how it goes.
So
ooh, I like he's got his thinking face on now.
So let's, if we just search for now it's filtered to product, right?
Yeah.
Even though I don't type in the full name.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So when I think about all of this, right, it feels to me it's a little bit of an easier, what is that? Personalization, right?
Yes.
If we think of how the personalization, I don't know if Belinda's still listening to us, but she loves the personalization, turning personalization on so people could change their visuals and everything. But if you really don't want them to change, what the visual itself looks like, but you want to give them more things to slice by, this seems like a good solution for that. Is that kind of where you're thinking? Where you thinking?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what I've seen in reports, that's what happens if you don't use field parameters, that you will end up with multiple pages, right? Now we want to see it by category. Now we want to see it by country. And then you get a lot of the same pages with the same visualizations on, right?
Yeah.
And when you do that cross dimensions, right, things end up crowded or a lot of pages to maintain.
So can I do a parameter, a slicer of the tables, and then that I have to select one of, and then just one parameter of the fields, so that I could have, like, I could go through and I could, you see what I'm saying? So I can choose what table I'm looking at.
I just need to remove the filter here, right? So it's almost like redesigning the power or the pivot tables selector, right? So if we choose dates. Now I want to see day of week. No, I do not want. I clear that filter. I want to see it by customer, age, etc. Right? And we can.
Right, and you just have to turn off the filtering between the slicers.
Yeah.
But now you have one page that allows people to see things by any of the breakouts and categories inside your model.
Correct.
Holy crap on a cracker, is that powerful?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and there's a little refinement, right? Because you'd want to take
Yeah,
like, your keys off and stuff like that,
Oh
but
yeah. All that
but
stuff.
I mean, this is great. So there
But you
was a
forgot to
question.
ask, what if I wanted a hierarchy, right?
Ooh,
Oh yeah. What if I
wait.
want a hierarchy? Yeah. Wait.
We were just thinking that. There was,
So
I don't
now I chose store, right? And I chose country and state.
know. Hmm.
What happened in there?
Oh,
Oh,
What'd
interesting.
you
interesting.
do?
He
I
did
created a dynamic
a
hierarchy.
dynamic hierarchy. He selected both, right? And you could use the fork to go down, or what you did is just go
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
So let's pick product, category, and manufacturer,
Hmm.
right? So now this one has 2 levels. I can expand, of course, or I can turn on drill down to go for computers to manufacture. And by the way, notice the subtitle that is
Oh
dynamic as
yeah,
well.
that is sweet. We said our minds were going to be blown today, and
Wow.
you've done it.
Yeah, talk about. I mean, I kind of was joking before about like, hey, now you should plan to like rejigger your all your Power BI reports.
Yeah.
But I think this is something that does bear a lot of design options that maybe this is really like legitimately we should be looking at that. And so Erik, a question for you.
Yeah.
Let's say I am a report developer and I work off of my enterprise semantic models entirely. Am I just SOL on these parameters if they're not inside that enterprise model, or can I use those without it?
If what does SOL mean?
Well,
Out of luck. Like
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, bleep out of luck.
bleep
Yeah.
out of luck.
Yeah.
Well, you could use a direct query over analysis services / Power BI's datasets and create your own, make changes to the model. Then you, in your own model, can add these field parameters.
Oh, so these don't have to be part of my enterprise semantic model. I don't have to have these calculated tables there. I could
Nope.
use that on, don't they call it a composite model?
Composite
Or is that,
model. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
okay.
yeah.
All right.
You end up
Yeah, but
producing a composite model. That's been the
yeah,
term they started
yeah.
using more, but you're right. It's direct query. It was that long name, direct query over
Over analysis
analysis
services, Power BI
services and Power
datasets.
BI.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And they don't call them Power BI
Uh,
datasets anymore. So,
Right. So now
good
you got to
luck on
say,
that one.
semantic models. Yeah,
yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
actually called that in. It's still called
Documentation.
that when you do that. Yes. So you can do it, but that means that you will get a set when you then publish the report or your model, your sort of composite model. You will
Mhm.
get 2 semantic models in your Power BI service, right?
Hmm.
Right.
And of course, those calculated tables might not be that. That also has to be refreshed, right? So if
Mhm.
there are models in the ones that you can't affect, model changes, then you need to update your own semantic model as well, or
Yeah,
the
you
composite
still
model.
have to
Yeah.
schedule that refresh
Yes. Yes.
to go along with what the refreshes of the enterprise model. So
Correct.
yeah.
So Chris, can you pull up Gamiro's question from a while ago? I
Who?
can read it.
Nobody had questions here.
Yeah, there's one with a Q colon.
Oh yeah, I'm kidding.
So basically, what I take this question to say, right, is can this change be applied to lakehouse, warehouse, semantic model yet? I'm assuming what is being asked is a direct lake model, right?
Yes, it can.
And so yeah, direct lake models support field parameters.
Yeah.
You can't do the calculated table in there, but I guess what you would do is stand up another table in
Yes.
your lake
Yep.
house or warehouse with those names, but you can
Yes.
then set the metadata, right?
Correct.
Okay. I kind of gave your whole answer there. So
Yeah. Thank you.
and I'm just imagining it. So hopefully, yeah. Have you tested it? Have you tried it already or?
Nope, not really.
No.
So
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, but I think we agree that yeah, it could.
Yeah.
I think you'll be able to successfully do it. So
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
that's
really,
fantastic too, because
yeah,
I think one of the
I have
biggest
more.
challenges. Oh,
Yeah,
go ahead.
if we have time.
You have more? All right, let's go
Yes,
back to it. Yeah. Let's keep going. What are we? We don't
because
have to.
one of the things I like is the capabilities of expanding field parameters enabled to group either as we did here in sort of select a table and then see which fields belong to that. But what if we have measures and we actually, of course, group our measures into, let's hide into display folders, because the display folders is also available when we ask the info view as well. So let's switch to evaluate measures, because we have that as well in an info view, right? So if I wanted all the measures where there is a display folder and run that, I'll see that I have actually added these measures in display folders, i.e. where the display folder is different from an empty string, right? And you can see the display folder is actually here. And you can also see I use the trick by using a semicolon to show the same measure in different display folders.
I love that trick.
Wow.
Yeah. So what if we could use the display folder information in order to group our measures? So if we only wanted to show the KPI values, they simply should pick KPI, right? If they wanted to filter by value, they should pick the value grouping, etc. So that requires some extra work, right? In creating our calculated table. So let's start with this one. So this one extracts our info view measures where the display folder is different from anything. And we have to add columns or select columns where we get out the display folder, the name, description. I'll get back to why I also extract the description and the table name. And then I use, in order to calculate how many display folders is actually, between the semicolon, I substitute the display folder names with the semicolon with the pipe. And then the path length will tell me how many display folders do we have on this measure.
Yeah.
And then I do some other trick in order to calculate what is the max length. I generate a series and do a cross join, and then I filter. When I do the cross join, I'll get multiple values. It should be only this one. You can go into details when you get a copy of this files. And then I have what I call the clean display, where I add columns and use this one, and actually here extracts the folder name that I want to use. So I get sales value into the KPI folder and the value folder as well. And then I use the description, because I also want to control the sort order of the elements.
Oh,
So
okay.
in my model, I have for each of the measures, I have used the description
to give you to pass on your sort number.
So I put in my sort number here, so I get sales units first, I get sales value as the first one, and sales value change as the last one, and sales percentage. And that way, I can use that information, convert it into a number, and use that to sort my columns.
Amazing. So I'm assuming you wrote that DAX right the first time, right? You didn't
Of
use
course.
like
Yeah.
DAX query
Yeah.
view to help you
Yeah.
kind of
I
build it
and I turned off
gradually.
intelligence as well.
Yeah, but that I mean that is what I was trying to jokingly get to is that's a good reason for DAX query view, right? To
Yes.
sit there and iterate over it and figure out all the things that you're showing, or just obviously get it from your GitHub. But
Yeah.
okay, so we have
So
all our
that-
measures and we're
Yeah,
putting them in
that
a
gives
parameter
me
table.
that gives me this table, right? With the name of the measure. The description is just to show you that I forgot to put in the description in this average price. I still have the field that refers to the field, and then I have the sort order, and then I can sort the name column based on the sort order, right?
And you did a little bit something to because you have some that are doubled.
Yeah.
And you use that number, and you have to produce a unique sort order there.
Correct.
So you have a
I
little bit of math in
multiply
there.
yeah, I plus minus and multiply it with 10, etc. in order to get a unique number.
Yeah, because I've done things to where I built my sort order and didn't do my algorithm correctly, and yells at me, you you can't have the same thing sort or whatever the number is. It's like, oh yeah.
But notice one thing. That's another hack that I can disclose. You can see that my name column is actually not sorted by name. Well, it is when you look in here, because if I do like this, it will complain. Even though you can see my sort order is unique. Right? So how did I hack that?
Yes.
Now,
how did you hack that?
Yeah, the Power BI desktop is not capable of doing this for some reason. It's probably a minor bug, but if we use the tabular editor and switch to the advanced measure selector and go to name, we can actually set the sort order in here to a field, choose the sort order, click OK, and we are allowed to save it. Okay. So
I didn't realize that was a bug because I've run into that before where I'm going, I thought that this was unique, and I did the same thing. I just went out the tabular editor, but interesting.
So returning to the model and oops, let's see if we can find it. Column tools, sort by column. Now it's sort order. So tabular editor is your friend once again.
Definitely. Okay, so we have this. We built it. And we have to set it as a parameter, right?
Yeah, we have to set the. Oh, not that one. We can have that at a later point. Why do I have 100 table in here? That's good, actually. Yeah, I set the field reference as the parameter metadata.
With the same way we were showing earlier. Yeah.
And you can see that in my field parameter table, I have a lot of columns, right, that I can use to filter the KPIs, etc. And then I used this one, the new list slicer, in order to group the, you can see my lovely sort order here. So when I pick value here, I get the value KPIs. When I click units, I get the units. And I use the new KPI, the new cards with the small multiples, right?
And then if you just select one, you'll only get, wow. I love it.
And let's just show you that if now we have the prices here.
Mm-hmm.
If I if I just change my model and go to average price, remove this one, and that should not be in a display folder. Now it's recalculated. It's not updated here for some reason. Why did it not update? That's the minor differences that there are because when we go in here, no, not in here. When you go in here, you can see it's still there. The
So you have to
prices are
force
still
a
there.
refresh.
You have to refresh this table.
Correct. Yes. So I can do that by putting in a space here, and now the prices are gone, and the prices are gone here.
Okay.
And if I wanted to put it in again, I can go to I add a prices display folder here. Update, and then
you have to refresh the computer table again. Yeah.
Let's just
now remove a space.
Remove the space. Recalculate it, and we have the prices back in our selector. Woo.
Wow. This is amazing. So yeah, I mean, you could customize the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to make sure that to bookmark this episode until there's some people that I'm going to be having develop some reports and go, let's think of this. And
yeah,
wow, amazing.
Yeah, you're spot on. Like this is like your 400 level, maybe even 500 level development in Power BI, right? Like you're using parameters, which nobody knows much about. You're using some really advanced DAX calculated tables because you're using you're querying the model structure of in order to generate that, not the data, the model structure. This is impressive. This is great. Yeah, Sean Lilly's calling it. It's great, just fantastic. Guillermo's saying he's going to give it a shot, and others are saying they're already using the new KPI for small multiples. Yeah, well done, Erik. You're on top of this. This is impressive. Wow, I am blown away. Oh my gosh, time has gotten away from us.
I was going to say we're about at the wrap up time. So
yeah, we got to end. All right, Erik, we're going to give you the parting words. What do you have to say to the audience?
You can download it, and feel free to reach out if you have questions. Connect on LinkedIn. Yeah, it's been fun.
Oh, well, thank you so much,
Erik,
for joining us. Kevin, thank you for being here.
It's great. Yeah, happy to be here. This was wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you all, everyone who's in the chat. Thank you guys for coming and joining us on Fridays. You've made it straight up my absolute favorite day of the week because I get to spend it with you guys. I love you all so very much. This is fantastic. This is a great session. We're really knocking out the hits lately, so excited to have everyone here. Have the best day ever. Peace.
Peace.
Tilly Digital combines strategic industry insight and advanced technical expertise to uncover and solve your digital transformation challenges. If you're interested in learning more, check out our website at bakertilly.com/digital.